Hey, John Martinez here with Midwest Revenue Group, and want to share this story with you because it can, it can help you sell more stuff. So I was laying in bed with my wife the other night, and as if you're a married couple or have a significant other, many of you probably have done this, and we're watching TV, right? Pretty common scenario. And sometimes she has the remote, sometimes I have the remote. Sometimes there's shows I really want to watch, sometimes there's shows she really wants to watch. And on this particular night, it was one of the nights where there were a few different shows on that my wife really wanted to watch. Now, it's important to know as I tell the story that we watch very different stuff. I nerd out on like Nova and nerdy science stuff, or some of the old comedy stuff like Seinfeld, and she's just a people watcher. So anytime she could just watch people in their element, she's all for it. So on this night, I get into bed and she's got a show on that it's really hard for me to watch. And the show was one of those Real Housewives shows. And I don't know what city it was. I was like Real Housewives of fill in the blank. It's all the same show. It's all the same women. It's all the same discussions. But I have a really hard time watching it. I know a lot of people enjoy it. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's not for me. As you know, a lot of stuff I watch is not for many people out there. As I said, I watched Nova. People probably fell asleep, right? But so it's on, and I started kind of groaning. I was like, "Oh, Real Housewives. Okay, I guess I'll do some emails or something." And she's like, "You know what? How about we do this? How would you feel if I turned it on to Married at First Sight or 98 Day Fiance?" It was one of these, another reality show where that I dislike, but I don't dislike it as much as I dislike the Real Housewives of whatever town they happen to be in. So I dislike it a lot, but I also dislike it a lot less. So she said, "Well, how about we watch 90 Day Fiance or Married at First Sight?" And I perked up. I go, "Well, honey, that'd be great." And we sat there and we watched it. So here was the lesson of the story. Now, if she would have started with 90 Day Fiance, which whatever that second show was, I would have groaned and grumbled. But the fact was, compared to what I was just watching, compared to that, this was a walk in the park. I was more than thrilled, and I didn't even get my laptop or my tablet to return emails. I actually just watched it with her, and she was a happy camper, and I probably enjoyed the show more than I usually did because I was thrilled to death. I wasn't watching the Real Housewives. So why does this work? Well, I told you, if she would have started with the 90 Day Fiance, that's a terrible show in my opinion. But she made it 10 times better because she started out, she prepped me by showing me something 10 times worse. And by comparison, I felt good about watching the other show that I really didn't like. Now, in sales, this is how you use it to make, you do the same thing. If you want your customers, your prospects to feel 10 times better about the product you have, you can do it two different ways. One, increase the price, right? You want to anchor the price. Higher or lower. And you know what? There are a couple different ways that we go over in our REI Sales Academy and our sales training. But for the sake of this video, let's just keep it simple. We're going to just do money, right, to anchor. So this is what we do, right? I do a lot of training for people buying houses at deep discounts where they need to negotiate a very aggressive deal on a property. Now, the deal is every time they go to negotiate, the seller of this property has a much higher opinion of what the property is actually worth and what someone might be able to pay for it. They typically don't take into account the business expenses of the person buying it, what they're going to need to put into the house to put it back in the market, all the different fees and things that go into, flipping a property, which is what they eventually do to it in most cases. So the best in our sales program, the ones who are really good at negotiating have learned the method of price anchoring. And price anchoring is just leading with a worse option. In other words, they lead with their Real Housewives, and then they drop their 90 Day Fiance. Here's what it sounds like. Hey, Bob, listen. I'd love to buy this property. I'm kind of struggling with the numbers right now, and that's not your fault, that's my fault. I want to pay as much as I can, and I want to get to what you expect for it, but honestly, for this house, the condition it's in, where it's at, what houses are going for right now, not any stuff you need to worry about, but for me personally, it would be a home run. I would be happy. I'd have zero reservations about buying it at $50,000. That was my Real Housewives. Now, I think it's worth more than that. I think I can pay more than that, but the more I pay, I start to get in that risky territory where I may or may not make any money. I want to make this happen. I'd be willing. I'm not sure. I mean, what would you have to say? And I can't say I can do this, but if I was ever able to offer $72,000, what would you say to that? And there's my 90-day fiance. So that's called price anchoring. That's the same way my wife can get me to watch a show that I really dislike watching and be happy about it. And it's the same way you can make your offer look more attractive to a home seller when you're going to buy a house and you're trying to buy more houses at deeper discounts. If you want more information like that, just find our website, Midwest Revenue Group, or a YouTube channel, Midwest Revenue Group, and check out the REI Sales Academy. There's lots of other tips and videos and stuff like that you might enjoy, might not. I'm not the best video maker, but enjoy it or not, I guarantee it'll help you buy more houses at deeper discounts, or sell more stuff, and that's what this is all about. I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.